Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will discuss about various methods for riser design, and riser is utilized to compensate liquid shrinkage in the mold and should be designed with the minimum possible volume. Its cooling rate should be slower than that of the casting. Normally, this Keynes relation is used to check the adequacy of the riser. Now, for riser design, an efficient riser should have, if the solid if Ts is the solid diffusion time, that can be given by volume upon surface area square for sand casting. Then, for an efficient riser, the this solidification time for the riser should be more than the solidification time of the casting. Then only it will be able to do the job of feeding. Now, designing a top riser, this volume of the riser can be given by this particular equation, and therefore we can find out the value of H with respect to the D, and surface area can also be calculated. To have the efficient riser, we differentiate surface area with respect to diameter and equating it to 0, we can find out the value of D, and this can be put into the value of the equation, and we will see that the diameter is equal to twice height, and therefore this particular equation. Now, similarly for side riser, here in case of top riser, the bottom face of this cylindrical riser will be in contact, while the top surface of the riser will be exposed to the atmosphere. Therefore, heat transfer will take place only through the curved surface and the top surface. And the bottom surface, as in contact with the mold cavity, it won't give, but it won't have any heat transfer. While in case of side riser, both the top and the bottom surface will be exposed to the environment, and surrounding curved surface will be to the surrounding, and therefore both the surface and to the curved surface heat transfer will take place, and they will, therefore we have to consider the rate of cooling with all these species, and therefore the surface area volume remains same. Surface area can be given by this equation, and to have an optimum value, differentiate it with respect to D and equating it to 0, we can find out the value, and we will see by putting this value into that equation, we can find out that this the diameter is equal to height and can be given by this particular equation. Now, therefore, now let us solve a problem for a cylindrical to design a cylindrical riser for a steel lap casting of the dimension 25 into 25 into 5 centimeter. That for a tap riser, design a tap riser and a side riser when it is poured horizontally into the mold. Now, therefore, the solution can be given by, we know the volume of the casting, surface area of the casting, volume of the riser, we know the equation, because the height and diameter is same, and therefore it can be equated to d cube, and therefore surface area is here. Now, as we know, for steel, this is linear shrinkage allowance, and therefore we can have the volumetric. It will be 2 multiplied by 3 will be equal to 6, and moreover, we are for the solidification in riser will take place. This much amount is required by the mold cavity during shrinkage, and therefore we should take thrice of it, so that it should have a sufficient material, because solidification in the riser will also take place, and therefore it multiplied by 3, and therefore now we are having this particular amount should be there to act efficiently in the riser. And therefore, for top riser, we can have the equation, and therefore it comes out to be 12.0. While for side riser, again, it is about 9.0. It is about 9.0. Now, because little modification by Cain's method, therefore let us see what is the Cain's method and what is the value we can compute by adopting this Cain's method. Cooling rate is linearly proportional to freezing ratio, which is given by surface area and volume. Our point falling in the right of the curve, that we get Cain's curve, ensures adequacy of the riser. Now, equation for the rising curve can be given by this particular equation, where x is the freezing ratio, can be given by this particular equation. Surface area of the casting upon the volume of the casting, surface area of the riser divided by volume of the riser, that gives the freezing ratio. And similarly, we can find out the ratio of the volume of the riser and the casting, that gives y. And a freezing constant, A is a freezing constant, B is another contraction constant, C is a constant depending on a different material surrounding the riser and the casting. And standard tables are available. From there, we can have the values of A, B, and C, and it is also given in this table here over here. And therefore, for the steel, it is 0.1, A is 0.1, B is 0.03, and C is 1. And therefore, putting this value in the equation, we can have have a point which should be right as given up earlier, that it should be on the right hand side of the Cain's curve, so that we can have a sound casting. If it is below this, then there can be a centralized shrinkage, and to avoid it, it should be above this, and therefore it finds out to be having the same problem. And we can calculate the volume of the casting, area of the casting, and volume of the riser, area of the riser. Therefore, we can calculate freezing ratio. We can calculate, that comes out to be 0.112 D. Similarly, we can calculate the ratio of the volume of the riser and the casting, that comes out to be 0.000251 D cube. And substituting this value in the Cain's expression for the steel, we have the values over there from the table. We are having this, and therefore we can have the equation. We simplify it, and therefore we can have the equation. Now, by trial and error method, we can get the value. Now it comes out to be 12 centimeter, very much close to the equation given earlier by a simple method. Now this is further simplified by Naval Research Laboratory, and the freezing ratio, which is a very long calculation there, when the size and shape of the casting is typical, and therefore to calculate freezing ratio is very difficult, and therefore it is being simplified by replacing this freezing ratio by shape factor. And shape factor can be given by this value, L plus W upon H, where L is the maximum length of the casting, W is the maximum width of the casting, H is the maximum thickness of the casting. And therefore, if it lies on the right side of the curve, we will have sound casting. If it lies with the left side of the curve, then it gives a center line shrinkage, and therefore we know the shape factor, and accordingly we will have a volume ratio and calculate the size of the riser. Therefore, the problem is here, the same problem, and we can have the volume of the casting, we can have we have the shape factor. From table theory we can find out what will be the values from the graph above, and also consulting this manufacturing technology volume by P. N. Rao, we can find out what should be an efficient riser, so that we can avoid centralized shrinkage that comes out to be 0.47, and therefore volume ratio of the riser and casting can be given, and therefore that can be equated to the volume of the riser, and therefore that comes out to be 12.3, very much close to the method, by the values calculated by Ken's method and ideal values. Now that we can also use another more further simplified method, which we call modulus method. Here we know that modulus is known as nothing but volume upon surface area. Now square of this modulus gives the solidification time for the sand casting. However, we can have the modulus, and it is practically established that this modulus of riser should be 1.2 modulus of the casting for a sound casting, and therefore hence the top riser, if we equate it, d is equal to h, and therefore the volume can be given by this value, and therefore the diameter of the riser should be more than equal to that 6 times that of modulus of the casting. We know the modulus of the casting, and we can solve the problem, the same problem. We know the modulus of the casting, volume upon, and therefore comes out to be, it is the volume of the casting we have calculated earlier, and volume of the surface area of the casting, and therefore it comes out to this, and with 1.78, and therefore the diameter can be calculated. And now you can see it is very much close. All these, whether we apply this modulus method or Naval Research Lab method or Ken's method or a simple method, we see that they are very close to have a sound casting. Therefore, depending upon the type of casting, we can adopt any method, and so that in a simplified one, depending upon, so that we can have a sound casting. Thank you very much.